The exciting part of the meeting, there's a panel discussion with 4 of the entrepreneurs in this club. And the reason why I chose the theme of the challenges of starting a business is because as entrepreneurs, or even wannabe entrepreneurs, we don't actually know where to start. We don't really know what we want to build or create, and we don't really know what we want to serve. And so with all these challenges, all these questions, I wanted to kind of bring up this theme and bring up all of the entrepreneurs that I've asked to come up on stage. Please come up on stage to join me. Yes, please sit down. Sit down next to Anson, or like next to Tanan. This was not coordinated. My bad. And so let's have our panelists give a brief introduction of themselves.
I guess I'll start with me. Yes, okay. Hi everyone. My name is Anson. I currently run 2 businesses right now. I am a financial services professional, where I handle a lot with focusing more on clients to make sure that they grow and protect their money. And I also am running a product business by making fountain pens. So that's me.
All right. Hi everyone, my name is Tanan, and I also ran a few businesses. My main one is Airbnb management, and I help people who want to purchase property in Thailand from anywhere in the world as well. And right now my management is in Canada and Thailand.
Oh, I got it. Thanks for having me, sir. It's been a while since I was here. Myself, I'm into the barbering business, so I have about 3 franchises in the Lower Mainland. I'm also getting involved with the e-commerce business, and at the moment, I'm heading back home to try to explore another business. So we'll see how that goes.
Hi, I'm Elena, and I'm also run a few businesses. First of all, I'm a CNP, so that's why I have my personal practice like a nutrition practitioner. And the second one, just 1.5 months ago, I founded and I opened my new business. Now I'm owner of a coffee shop in Yaletown, so very welcome. Thank you.
Now, my first question for all of these panelists, starting with Anson, is what were the challenges of starting your fountain pen business and your financial business?
Okay. I think the challenge about starting a business is really just trying to start a business in itself without knowing what you're getting yourself into. One of the most challenging things that I had to get through is certainly having a bigger goal than just trying to start something. I don't know if anyone felt like trying to start their own goal at the very beginning of their year, such as their New Year's resolution, but you kind of stop halfway. I don't think it's the same for a business, because the moment you start running is when you realize how big the problem is, and that's when everything becomes very challenging. So I think for me to start a business, I never thought I would be a business owner, but starting is definitely the most challenging part because you have no idea what you're getting yourself into.
For me, I think the hardest part of starting a business is the mindset. I think for myself, I'm actually the opposite of Anson. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to start a business, but what's stopping me or what kept me failing? I started many business before venture living, and I failed before. What's the mindset? And I think it's because if you grow up in a traditional household, you go to school, your parents tell you to get a job, go through get a bachelor degree, study hard, get a good grade. That actually doesn't really prepare you to be a business owner. Business owner is a totally different world, totally different mindset. You're shifting from waiting for the vacation, waiting for the paycheck, thinking about how you can optimize your income and all that, to you're building your dream, you're building your team, you are making an impact in the world. And lots of the time, like the business owner is the one actually getting paid less. So people who thought about like, oh, I'm going to be rich because I start a business, it's not always like that. So I think for me, it's like the mindset that like it took me a while to really think, to really see the business the way it is and really shift my mindset from like employee to employer to like getting a job to like building a business. And I think like once you can finally get that switch, building a business become a lot easier.
Oh, I got it. I think for me, I think my answer might sound like Tanan a little bit, but for me, the biggest challenge is to getting started is really getting started itself, because you have all this fear, like you worry, what if you fail, right? What if I don't make it? I have a little girl. What will she eat if I fail? I'll be all in this debt. So that kind of like run through my head all the time, right? So really now that I have kind of got past that mindset, that thought, is you just gotta do it, right? And you just gotta give up being perfect. And hey, I'm gonna wait till finances fall in, waiting for so-and-so come along, the right partner. Forget all of that. If you want to start something, do it. And then you just gotta perfect it along the way. I think that would be my advice. Definitely get going. Takes a long time for me. So that's the biggest challenge for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good question, and I absolutely agree with all speakers about challenges. And I can say that, yes, start a business, first of all, it's about your responsibilities. Yeah, so it's absolutely different mindset. And also it's about your lifestyle. It's absolutely change your lifestyle. And also the big challenge for me, it's work-life balance. Yeah, because if you're an entrepreneur, you work 24/7, and also you should believe that and you should be passionate about that, and it's really important. And also I absolutely agree that perfection delays the progress, because I'm a student. So for me it's really complicated to start something if I am not absolutely sure that it's perfect. But it's not about business. It's my challenge. How to do business and how to run this, not so perfect, but try to improve step by step every day. So it's my challenge. Thank you.
I'll be honest, I am not an A student at all. but
These were degrees.
but you don't need to be an A student. You don't need to be a D student. But what you need is your very first customer. So my next question is, what did you do to get your first customer?
I like how I'm always the first one to answer this, so I don't have a lot of time to think. But I know, right? But oh, is that right? Okay, I actually got an answer, so thank goodness. But in terms of getting my first customer, I remember running my very first appointment with my business partner in the financial business, and all I can say was I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and because I find that when you start to run a business, and this is something that I definitely take for granted, if you were to run your business by yourself, you have no idea whether you're doing it right or whether you're doing it wrong. Because the only result that you see is if the customer is willing to sit down with you. And I'd say I was grateful that in my first appointment for my first client, I was able to get my business partner to actually guide me through to see how I can answer the questions properly and also get that client of mine or the prospect of mine to be my first client. Was it easy? No. I think the most challenging part was certainly building that trust. Regardless what business you're running, whether be it a service-based business or if it's a product-based business, which is my second business that I have, once you have that trust, it is much easier for you to do a transaction of sorts. And you won't be able to build trust if you only met them once or twice. My first client, I had to meet him, if I remember correctly, 4 or 5 times. 4 to 5 separate appointments just for him to agree to a small product. And I'd say because my financial business I started first, and then I started my e-commerce business next. The e-commerce business was easier because I already knew how to build that trust. So the trust factor is, I'd say, is the most important currency in any business. So yes, that's kind of how I got my first client. Is I just have to go out there and talk to people many times in many ways.
I think like there are many ways to grow your business and start your first clients, but for me, I believe in organic growth. By organic, I mean like my business, Venture Living, started from my own personal investment. Like I bought a condo in Thailand, and I'm figuring out how to manage it from here. I assemble a team, I try and error. So in that process, it's like I build a business for my own needs, my own problems. And when I'm starting to know how it works, I feel like getting the first client become a lot easier when you already have a proof of concept that you actually know how to solve your own problem, and like you have something to show. And I'm not like a product business like Anson, so things might be different for different kind of business. But for me, I believe that your first client should come organically from your first client should be yourself, at least. Like you should try to solve the problem that you have, because at the end of the day, what I learned from business is that knowing your customer is the most important thing as a business owner. Like you need to know exactly what's the pain point, what they're willing to pay for, how much they're willing to pay for, why they want to choose you over other people. And like the best way to get into the mind of your customer is that you've been in that shoe before. At least from my personal experience, it makes things a lot easier when you talk to your potential customer as well, why you should work with you. And then like when I land my first customer, that's not my own property, another thing is like people say like you learn before you earn, and I take that in business, not just in career. Like I take my first few customer as like I don't care about making money from them, but I care about like learning as much as I can about like what it's like to actually like work with a client, how it's going to be different working with a client compared to like working with my own property, for example. So that would be the step, like solve your problem first, and then you expand. Then like don't focus on making money, focus on learning, creating some kind of proof of concept. And then once that become more clear, like okay, this is how we can do this business, we can run this business, this is the most efficient and optimized way, then you can raise your price, then you can scale your business. That's how we say it.
Thank you. I think for me, like for my franchise business, men's grooming, we're kind of based in the mall or like on the outdoor mall. So we depend a lot on walk-in. So that part was easy. But for my second line of business, which is like e-commerce, women's cosmetic, that's a bit more challenging. So what me and my wife did was we attended a show, right, where there's a lot of people. We just kind of get in there, set up our booth, talk to everyone there, just kind of really connecting on a personal level, asking what are you using for makeup or lipstick and things like that. And then we would kind of hand out stuff for free, right? Here, try it out. I'll follow up in a week or two and see how you like that. I think that's how it got started. We definitely gave away like a lot of product to start with, and we thought, man, when are we gonna get our first customer, right? So lo and behold, a couple people call and they say, hey, really like the stuff you gave me 2-3 weeks ago. Where can I buy that? And that's how it all began for us. It's just that one client, and then from there on, it was just like word of mouth, basically.
Yeah, good question, because for coffee shop, many people say, oh, no problems to get a new client, yeah, because coffee shop is opened and new client come. But I can say that if you do wrong things, like a wrong product, not good quality, maybe not so welcoming atmosphere for clients, maybe not right place where you open this coffee shop, for example. How clients know that they can come exactly into your coffee shop? So that's why, for me, it was a question where to open this coffee shop, what kind of products to give my clients. But yes, I can say that for coffee shop, maybe I face different kind of question, how to retain my clients and how to consistently give them the same quality, the same, I don't know, maybe just improve quality and improve products and give them more than they expect. So that's why maybe in this case, they can come back, try to get more and more. It's about product and service, exactly. Thank you.
So my next question is, what did you wish you learned earlier so that it was easier to continue your business?
We can start from Elena, come back here.
Okay.
You want to try that?
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question again before we start?
We can do that.
Thank you.
What did you wish you learned earlier so that you can make it easier for yourself to grow your business faster? Or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Good question. Maybe, first of all, that not every opportunity is the right opportunity. And sometimes saying no to some suppliers or people who suggest and offer a lot of stuff for you, trying to help you, sometimes it drains your energy. And if you accept all these offers, you don't have enough time for your job and for your processes. And saying no, it's good for me. And I found that it would be a good idea in the beginning to avoid any strange offers and don't spend time for them. What else? Yeah. Maybe no different ideas came into my mind about that. Guys, if you have any ideas, yeah, I can. Yeah.
Sorry, run that question again, Adrian. Question.
I don't remember the question. No, kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
What you wish you knew before?
Yeah.
If you were to, again, I'm saying this many different ways, but if you were to know what you do now, but when you first started, what would you have wished you would have learned or knew earlier so that you can grow your business quicker?
That's an amazing question. I think for me, if I could learn like people's skill, like before I start a business, oh my good Lord, I would be ahead of where I am right now. So learning about relationship selling coming to meetings like this, Toastmaster, personal development like Landmark, all of that. I wish I ran into that before I started my business, because it all came down to relationship selling, whether it's at the barbershop or at the e-commerce. I find when you just kind of like drop your guard, shall we say, and really connect with people, it sells itself. The product sells itself, right? We don't have to try so hard. So I think that will be the biggest thing. If I were to do it again, I would get to know my audience and really, you know, try to build that relationship. And I think that would be a head start for me.
Yeah, that's a great question. And for me, I believe that there's no, like everybody go through the same their own pace. I don't think that's you should be expecting like, oh, I should grow faster, I should scale faster. Like I told you before, I started in many business, it failed, and even in my own business, I have like a period of growth and then slow down and grow again, and I don't regret it at all. I think like everybody grow at their own pace, and what more important is like learning along the way, because like I say, like the business itself is it's like its own university, its own education. You don't learn how to run business from school. It's like school doesn't prepare you to run a business at all. So what I wish is just trust my gut and don't be afraid. Like a lot of the time I actually regret holding back because, I'm afraid if it's gonna fail, if it's not gonna work. And I feel like I hesitate because I base my decision on fear instead of like trusting myself that I'm gonna be able to like figure out how to get to the next step. Because like no matter what you do, it's gonna be a problem. No matter what business you're gonna start, you're gonna be challenges. So you just have to trust yourself that I'm gonna do it now, and then whatever problem comes, you're gonna figure it out. So that's more like what you're gonna do.
Good point.
Yeah, I think I would definitely agree with everyone here, especially for Tanan, because going back to the first point, starting a business is something that I did not thought I was going to do. Essentially, I was born and raised in an Asian family where I was told that you just gotta be 3 things: a lawyer, a doctor, or an engineer. Thank goodness I was an engineer. But it didn't really stick that long. I only stuck there for I studied way too long. I studied for 9 years, and only for me to work in about 7.5 years. About half of it was in the public sector, for me to know how the public sector works, and I transferred to a private sector. But I think what Tanan was saying, what he said recently was actually very true, because whatever I studied at university, I thought I already knew what I was doing, and maybe I can start a business. But I think what school has taught me was how to be constrained in a setting where I have to listen to my managers, figuring out how I can do the work there, and then finish my work and clock out at 5. Those that want to start a business are the people that realize that 5 o'clock is just the beginning of your business, because you have no idea what to do after the employee clocks out, because you have to run something. And I think, going back to the question in itself, trying to start is one of the biggest hurdles. What I wish I learned recently is that making mistakes is actually fine. Making mistakes is not life-ending. Making mistakes is something that, instead of putting yourself through the, emotional stage, is to teach you more on resilience in the long term. The biggest fear that I had, minus all the D letter grades that I get from a university, is that I didn't want to fail. Failing was a very big part of my life where I was told that I need to get at least good grades for me to get to the next level, or else I will be staying back where I was, and I get made fun of quite a bit. And once I got out of university and started working in engineering, I remember failing one of the projects that I worked for the first time. And it got me really depressed and sad. But the more and more I think about it, losing $2,000 in the public sector is very minimal compared to losing $2 million in the private sector. Not that I've lost $2 million before, thank goodness. But the moment I started making a mistake was when I thought, that's it, my career ends. Everything's gonna go for a halt. And I have to be grateful, because the time that I spent in my 9-to-5 job taught me how to be more resilient, and I was able to apply that through my businesses as well. But the thing about the business is you're 100% in. You don't got a choice. The moment you make a mistake, you have to eat up. I'm sorry to say this, you have to eat up your own shit. But I think doing that just makes you to become a much better person the next day, because now you know what to do, especially when things go south. And you've grown to a point where you've matured enough that if anything happens and come my way, I'm calm enough to know how to fix that mistake in itself. So I'd say I wish I could have made more mistakes in the very beginning of my business, because by making mistakes, I know what not to do so that I know what to do right afterwards.
I have one last question before I open it up to the audience. Oh, I'm at 30. Okay. Actually, let's open it up to the audience, actually.
Great.
Well, we have 10 minutes left, so I don't want to take all the questions. I think the audience might have some questions as well. Let's start with Daniela.
Thank you. I am dying to know this from all of you. So I too, an entrepreneur, 22 years. I always hear people in the 9 to 5 say, oh, I just want to start a business. I want to be an entrepreneur. I'm now at the point in my life where I'm saying, I just want to show up, clock in, clock out. My day ends at 5 and it's hands off. My question to you is, in your experience of being an entrepreneur for as many years as you have, do you ever dream, again, to go back to the 9 to 5 where you clock in and clock out and it's hands off and people pay you and you don't have to hustle? What are your thoughts?
I already have an answer.
Who you want to hear from?
Do I get to hear from all of them?
You can, yeah.
I kind of just want to hear from all of you.
Okay.
Yeah, I can go first. I think for me, the answer is an absolutely no.
Oh.
Yeah, no. It's a big no, actually, because before I got into business, I ran a successful franchise. The company is called Chatter Hair Salon, and I have multiple stylists, maybe like 25 at least, and then some 5 or 6 receptionists. So we have a pretty big team, and it's very challenging, and I kind of love that challenge as well. So even though it wasn't my business and I was the manager, I was a service manager, I make it like it's my business, and I go to work even 7 days a week. I shows up 9 in the morning, and sometimes I stay till 9. Or most days I stay till 9. And when the paycheck come, it's always the same. Like I put in so much hour, I go above and beyond for the company, and it's just the same and the same and the same. And that's when I thought, this got to be a better way, right? So absolutely no for me, because not for that reason, and also for I came from a poor family, and I kind of want to be the hero. I want to be that person where they come from money. So I'm almost there, I think, and going back to 9 to 5 would be absolutely no for me. I do respect the people that do the 9 to 5, but I think I've been there and done that. I just enjoy the freedom. Not only that, the challenge of really starting a new company kind of excite me more, right? So yeah, I think no for me. Who wants to go?
I can continue. For me, absolutely no, because I can compare. More than 20 years, I worked in big corporations, from 9, not to 5, 6, maybe from 9 to 9, doesn't matter. But yes, I worked in big corporations, and I know what does it mean. And now I work for myself, and what changes? What happened? So now I can do many changes faster. and it's my responsibility. And if I feel that I need to help this client now, exactly now, I can do it. And I don't need to wait for top managers and ask them, oh, can I do in this way? Because I know that it would be good just to help client and, for example, open the door or maybe give him or her additional pastry, for example, doesn't matter. Because I feel that it will be good point now. Because in a big corporation, you need to get a lot of agreements and to get a lot of signs before that, and you can involve and you can implement new procedure maybe in 1 month, in 2 months, and it's so long, it's so boring. But and clients suffer from that. So now I feel that I can do it fast. I feel this, and I trust myself. And if my gut feeling said me, oh, it's a good point, so I just do it now. So answering the question, absolutely no. And I feel really excited to be now in my business. Thank you.
I think for people who ask that question, I think you are looking at the business wrong. I used to be like that too. There was a point that I quit my job and I gave myself, I want to try it for 6 months, and if it doesn't work, I'm going to go back to be employee. I gave myself that, and there was a time that I really considered going back to work 9 to 5. But looking back now, I think I was looking at the whole thing wrong, because I wasn't thinking about like building a business. I was thinking like I'm just looking like the business is just another job for me. So like, why am I working so hard on this new job that pay me less hour, but I have to put in more hours, right? I could go back and do 9 to 5 and get paid more. But now I'm looking at business, like I'm building a scalable system that can run by itself without me being there. So right now, like I have a team in Thailand doing everything for me, managing the money for me. I have a cash flow from that business coming in when I'm like sitting here with you guys and still have money coming in. And when I'm looking at it that way, I'm more like a system builder. I'm building a business. I'm not like working in a business. And like when you get to that mindset and when you see it that way, there's no going back. Like, why am I still like trading my time for money when like the business is generating money for me and I can have the freedom to do whatever I want? So that's the mindset that needs to change.
Yeah. So thinking back, I certainly had at one point in time considered going back to my professional engineering career. And it was at the lowest point when I was running my financial business. Not only did I, at one point in time, I lost 4 or 5 clients in a span of 3 days, which is actually considered to be really big in the financial business. I also felt like I lost the trust of these people that I helped manage their money for at least 1 to 2 years. So that trust immediately broke because they decided to move on with someone else. Nothing wrong with that. I've already accepted fate that, when the time is right, I'll get better people. But to answer the question in itself, have I considered going back? At one point, yes. But what made me stay was I felt that the freedom that I got as soon as I got laid off from my 9 to 5 engineering job was the true freedom that I never thought I would have felt. Those of you who grew up, especially in elementary school, we take that for granted for so long. Our only job is to make sure we finish our homework. I miss that. I truly miss that. But now that I am an adult, and the moment I have to start paying my first phone bill, I realize this is the real thing. And I never thought I was going to run a business until I started running one. In fact, when I first started my financial business, I was still on my 9 to 5 job. So you could think of me as doing my 9 to 5 while also working part-time afterwards. The reason why I started that was because my advisor back then, who is now my business partner, he shared me his vision. He shared me that he wants to grow a team. He needs someone else that can be relied upon, and we can enjoy the fruits of our labor. And because I was obsessed with Japan back then, he was like, we can fly to Japan every year. I was like, heck yeah, totally, count me in. I was that simpleton guy. But I felt like the way he shared his vision was what touched what I felt like I was missing for the longest time. Was what was the true freedom that I was seeking? Was it just the pension plan that I was waiting as soon as I hit 65 from my public sector job back then? Was it for me to be able to receive just about $3,400 every single month as soon as I retire at the age of 65? What would that cover in the next 30 years? By then, everything else is going to be double the price. And I will say that $3,400 is not enough. So part of the reason why I decided to, you know what, I really want to stick this is the vision that was gifted to me on what true freedom is, to be able to make the decisions on what I wish to do, but also to be able to have a choice on what I'd like to see. I agree whatever Tanan has shared in terms of making a system, having a business that is scalable. I think that's very important because I don't want to be self-employed every single day. Because if I stop working, will the money flow? And if the answer is no, I'm basically working for myself. But eventually, I would like to have a team. I would like to be able to grow both of my businesses. If I have more people under me working together so that we can help more families, all of us will win. If my pen business grows where I can scale, and that way I can just get someone to make more pens for me while I go out there and tour and visit more, say, pen shows, I think that will increase all of our market share with everyone. I'd love to pay people more, don't get me wrong. I got a marketer, I'm paying him very poor right now. But eventually, I told him, if this was successful, I want you to be in my team. So we'll make it into a serious thing. And I think just being able to provide that to a small team and having a bigger vision more than just for yourself is what made me want to get up the next day and help more people. Because I feel like us entrepreneurs are not just here to work by ourselves. It's a very lonely world. I would say it'll be more fun if we actually work together with more people and have a system in place. And when the time is right, I can go to Japan however many times I want. So yes, the vision. I think that's a very big deal. The vision that was gifted upon me.
Great answers.
Yeah, great answers. Are there any other?
Oh, Yambo got a. We can
Yambo
do
was
it. Yeah,
first.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a quick question for Tanan. Do you share a time when you feel like you had no strength left, especially when you are facing like financial pressure or other real life challenges? What help you keep going and move forward?
Okay.
A question in your difficult times, what keep you moving forward?
Like when I don't have a strength to do it.
Yes. Sometimes because we will feel tired. Sometimes like financial pressure and you're bound to do something, and sometimes you feel kind of just really just kind of no strength left. And then what can you have a resilience to get back on the track?
Okay, just to repeat Yanbo's question because he doesn't have the mic is. Oh, you know what the question is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what do I do when I feel tired, right? I think it's a great question, and I have experienced burnout throughout my business journey. And one thing I start doing more recently is allow myself to be burnt out and just communicate with people. Like, I'm gonna take a day off. I thought that running a business is like 24/7, right? But recently I start to just today I'm gonna take a day off. I wanna just spend time with my family, and like taking that time, like downtime, is not bad. It's like regenerate. And sometimes I feel like I get a lot more reflection when I actually don't think about my business at all. But again, it's coming from like you need to set up a system that even though you are away, it can still run, right? Like so that should be your first priority. That like you should like build a system that you can eventually remove yourself, and when you can do that, then for me, I don't believe in like grinding every day 24/7. I believe in like more balance, and I build a business so I can get the freedom. So if like building a business mean I'm gonna not have the freedom I wanted, then what's the point? So I always, be very in tune with my own feeling and let people know, I'm tired. I'm gonna take a day off. You guys take over and chill. So that's how I keep going when I'm too tired.
That's good. Thank you. Will you have a time to have without confidence? I mean, sometimes you have no confidence to deal with all the things that you have.
You really have to believe in yourself, and that's something that the society tell you like, oh, it's bad if you like believe in yourself, then you kind of like self-centered, narcissistic, and all that. But like, I think like you need to first believe in yourself before other people can believe in you, especially when you become the top like of the organization. If you have 20 people looking up to you, telling them what to do, they don't want to look at you and you are doubting like, oh, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know what you're going to decide, what we're going to do with this customer. You need to always kind of like at least believe in yourself. And like I said, believe in yourself, make the decision, and whatever come after, believe that you can also deal with like the fallout, deal with like the issue that might come after. But believe in yourself is the most important thing.
Unfortunately, it's time's up. I saw the red card from the timer. Well, let's give it up for our panelists for tonight. Oh, yes. Can someone take a photo?
I think we're sitting, I guess. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I guess. Thank you, panelists. You can go back to your seats.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, panelists. Oh, thank you.